This is Things You Might Not Have Heard, and I am Jay Cooper Payne with you for this Thursday, the 7th of July, 2025. 8 stories queued up for you to get you through this morning as I produce this live at 6:06 a.m. Central Time, or whenever you get a chance to check this out. But these are 8 stories that you helped us pick out as conversational stories. It's not just a rundown of what was live. This was going through the past 30 hours, the whole day yesterday, plus a little extra time to see what stories are worthy of talking about. Some are the big top headlines, some are little things that kind of get mixed and lost in the mix, if you will. We will talk about the shooting at Fort Stewart. That's a very, very, very odd and just sobering act there. The Texas Democrats not having as much fun out of Texas as you would think, and Howard Stern has issues or rumors or innuendo, and he may not be here much longer. Plus, an AC/DC earworm that you're going to get stuck in your head and you're going to hate me for it. So you're welcome. If you want to get more details about how we do this thing, check out our website. This is a conversationproject.com, and visit our website as well to see our spotlight sponsor, Ground News. This is conversationproject.com/ground news. You'll get 40% off their plans to check out more, better, greater news, and we get a small commission. It is an affiliate link. So that's how that all works. As we said, today happens to be the 7th of July, 2025. These are your headlines, 8 of them that you helped us pick out as conversational, and we'll get to that guy in just a bit. Let's start off with our first one, which is extremely disturbing. An altercation at Fort Stewart led to 5 soldiers being shot, according to U.S. Army officials. The incident occurred in a barracks area, with initial reports indicating it stemmed from a personal dispute. All victims were hospitalized, 2 in critical condition. No fatalities were reported as of the latest update we had for the story. 1 soldier is in custody. The military police are leading the investigation on this one. He has been identified as using a personal weapon in this one, not a actual military issued weapon, which doesn't make things any better, but it's what was there. Officials have not publicly identified the suspect or released this motive. Actually, I think that's not true. I think if you have a release, the robot editor just didn't get the name of the person there, so I think we have to release his name out there. We'll update that in a hot take or something in a bit. But this was a interesting day at Fort Stewart, where the Army officials had to deal with this one going forward. As this popped up as a breaking news story, it was just kind of what's going on, what's happening. But active shooter issue at Fort Stewart Army base in Georgia, and it was over fairly quickly and fairly safely, given the circumstances, with no one dying in the actual melee. All 5 people dealing with their injuries right now. We're going to Texas, or technically we're going to Illinois, but it's the Texas Democrats who have fled to Illinois, who had to evacuate the hotel they were in because of bomb threats. Because once you figure out where they are, you start to bug them. A group of the Texas Democrats who are sheltering in Illinois received a hotel bomb threat and had to evacuate immediately. Lawmakers were in Illinois, or they're in Illinois, I should say, after fleeing Texas to block controversial legislation from advancing. Texas is trying to redraw its districts ahead of time so they can get some new districts to help the midterms and get more Republican seats. The Democrats see it's a wrong thing, bad thing, and Texas has done this before. So Texas Democrats have done this before, fled the state, and they're doing it again with a bit of help from J.D. Pritzker. And they're also in other states, but J.D. Pritzker is sort of being big brother to these folks, trying to get his profile up for 2028, basically. The authorities swept the building, found no explosive devices, and the investigation goes ongoing. I always wonder in the back of my head, who are these people who call in bomb threats, knowing that there's no bomb threat or not even doing any work to fake a bomb threat? These are the guys that are doing it here. Leaders describe the threat as political intimidation intended to disrupt the democratic process, what they're doing by fleeing to Illinois. Local police coordinate with federal agencies for response or monitoring. No word on whether the Texas Rangers are coming up to Illinois to arrest and bring back the fugitive Democrats, as something has been tossed around. But we do know that they have about 14 days or so to keep the session open, so they have to be away for that long to keep advancing any legislation. It's a long time for these folks to have actual jobs. Since there's local legislatures, they have actual jobs, actual homes, actual families to deal with in Texas. It's a long time away to put up a fight. We'll see how much fight they have, or whether Republicans will give into the fight. Chances are we'll have to see if they can last a full 14 days. We've got big balls, or at least DOGE has big balls, very big balls. Two teens were arrested in a brutal attack on DOGE staffer known as Big Balls in DC, and showing that maybe they had bigger balls than big balls. However, the actual part of the story, to get serious in this moment, two 15-year-olds were arrested in connection to a violent beating of the DOGE crypto project staffer, the guy who goes by the moniker Big Balls. He sustained several injuries, but is recovering fairly well right now. The assault took place in a public park, reportedly unprovoked, and filmed on social media, because that's what the kids do these days. Both suspects are being charged as juveniles, and though prosecutors are considering trying them as adults because of the seriousness of the nature, although Big Balls is not very seriously injured at this point, so we'll see how that goes. This sparks renewed debate over youth violence and internet fame culture. The fact that the kids want to beat a guy up, I'm not even sure if they knew Big Balls wasn't Big Balls, and the fact that they filmed it because it's for the clicks. It's a bigger debate than we have time to do right here, but we are, happy for the health of Big Balls. Maybe not happy for the health of DOGE, and we'll see how this one plays out in court, and whether they do decide to release the names of the juveniles, turn this into a adult case going forward. Meanwhile, something cool. NASA wants to get back into the fight of being NASA again, and they want to make sure they are beating China and Russia in a race to build nuclear reactors on the moon. Yes, this sounds like something out of a James Bond movie, like literally a James Bond movie, but hear me out here, or hear NASA out. They've unveiled plans to deploy a nuclear reactor on the moon by early 2030s to power future lunar missions. This is not that far away. The project is part of the Artemis program designed to have long-term human presence out there in the voids. Officials say the reactor will provide consistent power for habitats and experiments during long lunar nights. And China and Russia have also trying to do the same thing. China trying to line their lunar modules and do their moon stuff, because since no one's up there, you can't really claim it. So fueling a new space race centers around energy infrastructure is the way to go. NASA's working with private contractors to accelerate the development, because we don't fire our own rockets anymore. It just is what it is. So we shall see. The race between the Russians, the Chinese, and the Americans, not so much economical on the planet, not so much wars where they want to take over other places as well. Also, we want to inhabit the moon just like they do. Quick pause to ask you to help us out. Like, share, and subscribe to the work you're seeing us doing here and in other places as well. If you like the videos you're seeing here, that means I am doing fairly good, I think. I'm giving you good news, good commentary, more or less the facts, and the algorithms will also think it's fairly good stuff and share it with other people. It will grow the Nerd Nation. I see good stuff, I'll do more of that one. I see less likes, I'll do less of those things. If you share it directly with like-minded people who would enjoy it, hopefully they will like it as well and comment as well and engage as well, so we know we have more news nerds in the nation. And if you're not in the News Nerd Nation, subscribe whatever way you want to see this, whether you're getting this as a randomest thing in your X feed, whether someone has shared it on their Facebook page and you see it there, or you're seeing it from the algorithm in YouTube. Subscribe so that you get this directly into your feed when they go live. This is a live thing, so if you're watching at 6:15 a.m. on Thursday on Central Time, then you may see me rolling live. It's true, but of course, it's there whenever you want to get to it. Like, share, and subscribe so we get more nerds in the nation for the news doing this. Homeland Security has lifted age caps for ICE recruits. It's to support the new deportation push Donald Trump putting out there. Homeland Security got a big boost of funds, and with that, they are now essentially one of the largest military organizations in the world. And the Department of Homeland Security needs more folks to run the show, so they removed some age caps for people who are recruiting. Basically, they lowered it for the low end and raised it for the high end. Pretty soon, it used to have to be less than 37 years old to join, and now they can join past 37. But of course, it makes it easier for younger people to join as well and get into the ranks of the long-term ranks of a ICE agent. It will help meet the recruitment goals and renewed emphasis on the large-scale deportations. Remember, Stephen Miller has quotas that we're not meeting, so we must deport more people, must catch more folks, need more people to do that. Just like in your local area, if your business is not making enough folks, not making enough money, you've got to recruit more salespeople to hit the ground running. Although these aren't salespeople, but you get the point. Critics are arguing the policy may sacrifice long-term workforce stability for short-term political goals. Hiring all these people from many other types of law enforcement agencies or just off the street from doing something else to hit these numbers, when at some point in time these numbers won't be relevant, and then you'll have to basically release all these members to go do other things. Supporters are framing this as a necessary adjustment to address the staffing shortages, which there are, but the demands that are putting out there may be making that worse, exacerbating the fact that the shortages are there because they're pushing for so many people to get so many people, if you understand. BET is suspending the Hip Hop and the Soul Train Awards. The BET officials announced yesterday the pause in both Hip Hop Awards and Soul Train Awards. No return date announced, pretty much indefinitely until they figure something out. The network says it's reimagining its live event strategy as part of a larger shift in leadership and content planning, while insiders point to changes in the audience behavior and digital streaming as part of the reason for the break. They can't get the numbers to watch it on TV. They may get a couple of TikToks back and forth, but if you don't have the eyeballs to the big show, it's hard to put on a big show. Fans are disappointed. BET says it's working to deliver something fresh in the future. Industry experts say the pause may significantly change what's going on for legacy cable channels. They can't do things like they used to. They just can't. People don't show up for things like they used to. So what we're going to do about it? BET right now canceling one of its two larger attractions that still exist, because BET is just like many other legacy cable channels aren't exactly what they used to be and who they used to be. We shall see going forward. McDonald's sales got a boost from the Minecraft meal deals and the chicken coming back to it. I told those folks chicken was a thing missing at McDonald's. And although they didn't listen to me, they listened to some other analysts, it made a big difference. They beat earnings expectations with the quarter thanks to the new chicken strips that have been a hot deal, and the Minecraft theme meal going along with the movie starring Jason Momoa and Jack Black. Global sales rose by 5%, and U.S. sales bounced back after a slow start for the year. Limited time meals brought in more families and helped grow traffic to key markets. Promotions like the $5 combo and the add a side for $1 also are helping add the budget conscious consumers, adding little extras to those spiffs, to those tickets. McDonald's stock went up as a result of the strong report. So if you hold a McDonald's, you're holding something pretty strong right now. Your stock in SiriusXM may be in flux, though, because Howard Stern is having questions, or SiriusXM is having questions, as Howard Stern's contract is coming up soon. The long-running SiriusXM showrunner is coming to an end of his 5-year, $500 million contract, which expires basically at the end of the year. And right now, no one's talking about renewal. Not Stern, not Sirius, not nobody. They mentioned an idea of retirement several times. The Stern's talk about the retirement, like, maybe I'm too old for this stuff. But right now, no one's talking about extending the deal and extending the time on SiriusXM. XM is reportedly unsure if it can actually continue to pay the guy, the biggest man in media, who may not be such as big, the money he was being paid when they originally brought him in there 20 years ago, because listener habits and revenue. Everybody's failing, everybody's hurting, and paying him that much may be a problem. Fans are waiting to see if the radio legend signs off for good, or if he reformats the show and takes it someplace else. Maybe he's the next big podcaster, the next big podcast network, or maybe he goes back to terrestrial radio and fixes it again. We'll see. Insiders believe that he may have a plan ready to go, and it may be digital only because that's the way people are doing things. But Howard Stern probably not going away, probably not officially retiring, likes to be relevant, likes to be in the know. And he's a pretty good guy to do good interviews and get good gets. So maybe we still need a Howard Stern out there. We just can't afford him on SiriusXM, or SiriusXM can't afford him there. What that does for Sirius and the listener base there, because there's still a lot of people who do turn in, Stern saved Sirius in a time where where people need a reason to actually go there, and Stern may actually kill it if he's gone, because some people are still sticking around just for Howard Stern. Quick stop in with our spotlight sponsor, which is Ground News. Go to thisisaconversationproject.com/ground news, and you can get a great deal from them. If you use our link you help us out by getting a small commission. But if you use the link, they will give you 40% off their plans for news, especially their Advantage plan, their biggest plan. And this is a service that many podcasters are talking about, because many podcasters use it and work with it and work with them because of just the nature of them. It's hard to find a really great product that everyone agrees is a great product. No one thinks it's trying to scam you or trying to overblow you. Ground News is that product. Ground News is that place. Ground News is that website. Go to Ground News, whether via their website or the app on your phone, and look up any news story that you're curious about. Anything local, national, or international, it's being covered, because they aggregate all the stories from all the sources and give you a actual sort of idea of how news is being covered. Whether your silo is more red or blue, you can see more blue or red in response to what's out there. And their blind spot feature is the coolest part, because you just go to blind spot. They tell you a bunch of stories that are being overly played by various sides. And these are usually not necessarily the bigger stories, but sometimes they are. The Sydney Sweeney story, ironically enough, being played out by the Republicans as a big story that the Democrats are just, trying to downplay Sydney Sweeney, when in actuality the Republicans were just trying to upplay Sydney Sweeney and act like the Democrats didn't like her. And then it got worse when other people got involved, because it got a lot of clicks, a lot of involvement. So then everyone had to say their piece. Oddly enough, many of the more blue liberal media just sort of said they're talking about it and tried to move on, but we can't. I did like 4 stories on Sydney Sweeney. Trust me, we can't move on. But Ground News can tell you exactly how things are going by giving you the sources, their headlines, some lines from the stories, and how they actually work out. So check it out using our affiliate link. This is theconversationproject.com/Ground News. We get a small commission for your buy. You get 40% off your plans and get more news, better news for you from Ground News. And with that, we have completed a Thursday edition for the 7th of August. 2025 of Things You Might Have Heard. I am Jay Cleveland Payne. I want to thank you so much for being with us for what we're doing here and helping us go through stuff. We haven't quite got committed with a time yet. We got up early and did the early thing. It seems like early doesn't work as well. We're doing it live. We're going to get it done so we can clip more clips. We'll probably start producing the live thing a little bit more earlier so we can do more hot takes and clips, since they are shorter takes. But we're going to have to see what's going on. Also, in real life's coming back to work. School's coming back in place next week, so we'll be back on a tighter schedule. So things will come into some semblance of order fairly quickly within a week or so, once we get back to getting the little JJ back into her routine, which, trust me, she don't want either. But we love you guys for sticking with us and all the things we do and all the things you guys want to do about news. We take all your comments, all your concerns seriously. Email us at theconversationinbox@gmail.com so you can get more back and forth with me. Consider being a partner. Go to our website, click the links for partnerships, click links for sponsorships to help us things going out, and join us if you're on YouTube. Just hit the join button there. It's a lot simpler there. And to be honest, the tiers there on YouTube, about $2 cheaper each tier. So you want to save a couple bucks and still give us a little bit into it, because we need YouTube as a bigger number source. It's there. With that, we bid you adieu until next day, the Friday. Love you. Mean it so much. We'll see you with one more edition, fingers crossed, for tomorrow.